So I do have a little news since the last time I have seen all of you lovelies on YouTube. I actually got engaged, so Jared and I got engaged on June 3rd, and things have been so crazy since I filmed my last video that I just did not even want to try for a little bit. Just wanted to kind of let everything settle down and get into a routine before I started making videos again. So I feel like that's kind of happened. I've given us enough time to just kind of enjoy our engagement and stuff like that, and now I'm ready to get back into videos. And with that, I have one really fun one that I want to do for you guys today. So something that I think a lot of other people on YouTube can relate to is prestige makeup is so expensive. Buying the latest like Urban Decay palettes or Too Faced or different brands like that, buying all that stuff is really expensive, and particularly when you're trying to save up money. So like we're trying to save for, you know, the wedding, the honeymoon, our future home, stuff like that. When you're trying to save money, or if you're just trying not to spend all of your money on makeup, it can be hard to find things that work at a comparable level but that are still, you know, an affordable price. But when I was shooting my Selena Gomez tutorial, I was actually noticing how many things I used were actually still from like the drugstore side of makeup. So I thought I would give it a go trying to do a full face with drugstore products. I really didn't plan this video out. I just got a bunch of drugstore products in front of me and I was like, okay, let's turn on the camera. So with that being said, I suppose we can get on into the video. Alright, so the only thing that I couldn't find drugstore in my collection was something to do my brows with. I know that NYX has a really great product that comes in a pot like the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I've heard amazing things about it, so that is something that I would probably recommend if you're going for a drugstore product, but I'm actually going to use my Anastasia Dip Brow today. That's the only thing that I'm using that's not a drugstore priced product. Does anybody else feel like doing your brows is just like a total surprise every single day? Like, I feel like I can do my brows the exact same way every day and they turn out different like every single time. So it's just kind of like you wake up and you hope, I guess. So something when you're working with your brows, the thing that has honestly saved my life when I'm trying to do them is just having some pointy Q-tips. And I have the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. This stuff is amazing. I am actually almost out, so I need to put that on my shopping list, but it's a really great product. It is obviously drugstore since it's Garnier, and it's amazing. I'm just gonna speed through the rest of my brows really quickly, and then we will get on to the rest of the face. Alright, so now that those are done, we can move on. I think I'm gonna do face first, just since it's going to be a pretty kind of chill everyday type of look. I'm literally just wearing like leggings and a t-shirt right now, so I don't want anything that's going to be too dramatic. So I'm going to start by putting some of the Ulta Demi Matte Foundation. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that into my mixing dish. This is actually just a soap dish that I got at Target. Alright, so I just put about a pump into there, and then I'm actually going to mix it with a little bit of BB cream, just because the matte foundations, this is fine by itself for me, but it does tend to get a little bit too dry for me sometimes, so especially in the summertime when I need some extra sun protection anyway, I like to put a BB cream or CC cream with it. So this is the Garnier BB Cream Miracle Skin Perfector with Daily Shine Control. So this line is really nice because if you're not oily skin like me, you can get the regular kind, but this actually is specifically for like oily skin, so it helps kind of combat that shininess. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of this in the dish as well. Literally just like 2 or 3 little drops of it, totally fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my e.l.f. powder brush. You guys know this is still one of my favorite foundation brushes. It's called a powder brush, but it's really wide, it's really dense actually, and it's flat on the top, so it's one of my favorite things to use to apply foundation. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix together the products that I used for my face. And I'm going to kind of dot that all along my face with the end of my brush. Now, if you guys have watched my other videos before, you know that usually what I do is I mix that foundation with the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, which is another really great product, but since I'm going for all drugstore products today, this is a really good alternative. Now, I don't know if you guys can see on my eyes, but like something happened the other day when I was removing my eyeliner and it straight up like cut my eyes. So currently recovering from that. That's why I don't want to do anything too dramatic today also, because like I don't want to have to deal with like really heavy eyeliner and stuff like that. So this is going to be a really nice look just to kind of chill out for today. This brush is really nice because even though it is dense and it can pack the product on, it moves a lot. So I really don't know how to describe it, but it's a super cheap brush. I can't remember if this is one of the $1 or one of the $3. I think it's a $3 one, but totally worth it to get a great foundation brush for $3. Like, that's unheard of. So it's really nice just because it kind of, even though it's dense, it moves along with your motion, so it really helps to blend everything in very naturally. Alright, so now that that's on, we can go ahead and go in with some concealer. Now I have two different options depending on what kind of coverage you're looking for and what kind of product you prefer, honestly. These both actually have pretty great coverage, but it's just kind of what products you prefer, what type of skin you have. So if you don't tend to crease anywhere, then the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Concealer is really great. This is in Fair Light W123. So this is actually a warm shade. I think sometimes I've used the N123 shade as well, but this is just what I happen to have right now. So this one's really great. It's a fully liquid form basically, and it comes with a little brush on the end, and you just kind of swipe that where you want it. Something a little bit lighter, which I actually prefer, is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. I love this thing, and this is in the shade Light, and it's basically, you've seen it all over the place. It's that like fluffy top, and you just twist it, some product comes out. So I am just going to use this on my under eyes. They both cover well. I just find that this one works better on my skin personally, but I wanted to give you guys the other option just because that other one really is a great product as well. I'm actually going to blend this in with an Eco Tools. I think this is actually a BB cream brush, but it works great for concealer. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend that all in. And if you want to just kind of bring it onto the lid as well as a little bit of like a primer, that is a great option. That way you're not paying for another product. You can just swipe it right over. So once that is blended in, I'm gonna go ahead and set it, if I can find my powder. Okay, so this is a product that totally surprised me, but I used to use it back in the day, and I kind of got away from it just because I thought that because it was so cheap, affordable, cheap, whatever you want to call it, because it was such a low price that it couldn't possibly be as good as some of the other products I was using. But actually, I keep coming back to this again and again, so I thought I'd share it with you guys today. This is the Wet n Wild Coverall Pressed Powder Compact. I'm pretty sure this is like maybe $3. Super, super cheap, really amazing powder. So I have mine in the shade Fair, excuse me, it's 821B. It comes with a sponge applicator, which I use if I'm gonna use it to like bake, but today, since I'm going for something a little more natural, I am just gonna go straight in with a brush. And if y'all have been here since the beginning, you know that the e.l.f. Small Taper brush is my favorite one for under eyes. Again, it's one of those like $1 or $3 brushes from e.l.f., so you really can't go wrong with the price point, and they're amazing brushes. So I'm just gonna pat it in there, tap off any excess powder, and go right in to set my under eyes. Sorry for all the noise, by the way. There's construction going on right outside my window. I feel like I have to say that in every video because in the whole time I've looked at this apartment, there's literally been construction like somewhere right outside my windows the whole time, and I've lived here for a year and a half now, so I'll be moving soon. I'm very ready for that to be over with. If you actually want to set your eyelid as well, this is a great tool to do that, and then just set anywhere that you put that concealer. I don't know if you can see that, but it sets really well. Nothing really gets rid of like my under eye wrinkle look for me. I haven't found anything that really covers that, but this doesn't settle into it, so it's really nice. It doesn't crease or anything like that. And it sets my face amazingly. You can't see my pores really. So for a $3 product especially, or something around that price point, it's amazing. Okay, so I actually realized I liked it zoomed in a little bit more, so I'm gonna keep that. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in for the eyes. I'm going to use the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Yogurt. This is amazing. You guys have seen me use this before if you've been here for a little while. I love this product. It's a really great base for whatever you're doing. It's like not quite a rose gold, but not quite like a bronze. It's just very light, kind of pink. It is gorgeous. So I'm just gonna put this all over my lid and blend it out with my finger. Now that that's on, I will show you guys the palette that I'm working with today. So I'm using my Carly Bible palette. This is the original palette. I purchased mine at Ulta. You can also order it, I think, from BH Cosmetics, just from their website. But it's nice that a store actually did start carrying BH, so you can actually get it in person as well. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush. I'm gonna use this one from my makeup brush set. I've told you guys about them before. They're super cheap and you get like a full set, so especially if you're just starting out or you just need some brushes like really quickly, it's a great place to get them. I got my set for $24, I think, and it was like so many brushes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this and dip it in. I'm gonna dip it in these two shades right here. They look really dark on camera for some reason, but in person they're just nice, kind of light crease colors. I'm gonna place that in my crease area. And for those of you who are wondering, this is the eye contour brush from my makeup brush set. I like mixing these two shades together because one of them has more of like a rosy, even almost like purple tone, and then the other one is more of like a nice light brown shade. So mixing them together makes a really nice crease color, gives it a little more color dimension, which I like. Okay, so once that's done, I'm actually going to just blend a little bit with the Eco Tools highlight brush. So I know this is a highlight brush, but it's really great, really fluffy, and I like to use it to kind of blend out crease colors. Alright, so the next thing that I am going to do is a lid color. I have to decide which one I want to go with. I think since I'm kind of aiming for that rose goldy type color, I'm gonna go all over my lid with this one right here. It's a beautiful pinky shade, kind of a champagne color. Matches yogurt really nicely, actually. Just gonna place this all over my lid. All right, and then I'm just gonna take that highlight brush again and kind of blend everything so it's nice and soft. Now actually I want that to have a little bit more punch to it, so I'm going to take that same champagne shade on my brush again. By the way, this is an EcoTools shade brush from that same little set that I have. And I'm using the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set, and I'm just gonna spritz it onto my brush. You guys have seen me do this a lot in the past, and then more recently I've been doing it with my my MAC Fix Plus. So it's just kind of whatever's in your price range. These are totally interchangeable. Whatever setting spray you have works. Wetting it just kind of helps it to pack a little more punch with those shimmery shadows. Also, don't forget, put the product on your brush first and then spritz it, just because not every product is able to be used wet and dry, so if you get the setting spray in the shadow, it can actually damage it, so it's kind of unusable later on. So always put the product on your brush, like whatever shade you're using, and then spritz it. Alright, and again with the blending brush, I'm just gonna go back in with those crease colors really quickly on this fluffy EcoTools brush. Kind of do one more little round with them just to make sure that they're really built up in there. And then really like blow it out when you get to more your like upper crease into your brow bone. I cannot talk today for some reason. I apologize if that was like so choppy. Alright, so that is done. Now we can go on to the rest of the face and finish up the eyes at the end. So actually my all-time favorite contour right now is the Ulta Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Cool. It's just a very nice cool contour shade, and I'm using, this is technically a drugstore brush. I'll give you guys two different options. So I have three different options that I purchased from like a drugstore line that you can use when you're doing your contour. The first one is this Japanese brush. It's so nice. It's got this like matte black handle with like this really comfortable feel to it, and it's probably more comparable to this brush that I have from Tarte. So they're a little fluffier than the NARS brush that's really popular for this, but you can see they're very similar in fluffiness. This one's just I don't know if this is a full synthetic brush, but I know this one is. Oh yeah, it has to be full synthetic because Tarte is cruelty free. But anyway, you can use the Japanese brush. The only thing that I don't like about this, I don't know if this is just mine or if it's some of the other ones too, but mine sheds when it's going on my face. I get little like hairs on it, so that's not my favorite, but I do love the shape of the brush, so I still use it. The next two are actually from my makeup brush set. Again, there is the large fan brush, which is actually really great for contour, or there is just this angled contour brush. I think for today's look, I'm gonna go for the Japanese one and just deal with the fact that it sheds on me. I'm just gonna swipe it through my product right there into the cheeks. It looks like it's coming off really, really like dark on the camera, but it does not appear that way in person. That's like my biggest complaint, is I feel like I can never get my contour to look like it's there enough. So don't forget to blend it into this area as well, so it kind of blends nicely with your actual contour. Up in the forehead area. And then I'm gonna take it down here. Kind of shade that area a little bit. All right, perfect. That's good for that contour. Now the next thing is something that I've really been loving in the summertime, and that is using this Soleil Baked Bronzer from Milani Cosmetics. I love this one. I had one from Hard Candy that I loved. It was another like baked bronzer that's really golden, really beautiful, but when I get darker in the summertime, this is the one that I have to use. I just actually use the brush that it comes with. Kind of cheap looking, but I like how it cuts out my contour. So I'm gonna go kind of in the same areas and just kind of buff it in there. Since it is the summertime, this gives you a little bit more of that summer glow instead of just being like a straight contour, especially around the other areas of the face. I do not bring this down and into like my chin area just because I feel like that's not somewhere that would naturally get that glow. Even in your cheekbones you would still get like tanned or get that sun-kissed look, so I try to keep it just in the top part of my contour. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but I do have like a couple little hairs from all the brushes. That can happen with some of the cheaper brushes. It's not my favorite thing, so I tend to avoid the brushes that do that, but if I really like the shape, I will still work with it. So once that's done, I can go in with a blush. I think today, to kind of go with that more rosy, peachy look, I'm going to use the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. And I know you guys have heard about this like 100 times, so I don't really need to tell you much about it, but just a nice peachy blush. And I'm using this giant blush brush from Real Techniques. The reason I don't use this blush very often is because on me it does come off as more of like a bronzer shade. It's not exactly like a pinky blush. But for this look, I think that's okay. It's just like very, I don't know if you can see that on there, but it's very orange. So if you wear it with your bronzer, just be careful that you're not overdoing it on the orange. And if I wanted, I could add some more. I think I might add something a little pinker. I'm gonna go in with a NYX powder blush in the shade Rose Garden. This is PB26. It's a fairly good dupe, not quite as shiny, but it's a fairly good dupe for the NARS Orgasm blush, which you guys know is my favorite. I'm just gonna add a little bit of this on top of that, get a really nice blend of those two shades. Don't forget to even it out just by bringing it a little bit in the center of your forehead, down your nose, and on your chin just a little bit. All right, next is highlight, which is one of my favorite parts of this look. I'm gonna go in with a tiny fan brush. This is from my makeup brush set. And then I'm going to use this highlight shade from the Carly Bible palette. This is one of my favorite highlights, honestly, not even just drugstore. I just really love how this highlight looks. I'm gonna bring that on your nose too. So just the tip in the nose. And this part I actually like to do with my fingers, honestly. So just the Cupid's bow and this little dip in the bridge of my nose. If you wanna blend it out with the brush, that works. All right, now I'm gonna take this same highlight on this angled eyeshadow brush from my makeup brush set. I'm gonna take that same highlight shade and put it up here in my brow bone. I need to wax my brows. Ooh. But anyway, just go ahead and place that up there. And where your arch is the most defined, so where it actually hits at that arch, if you want to just put a little bit more and really like shake it in there, that can look really nice. If you want, you can do a little bit on the inner corner of the eye just to add a little bit more pop to it. Helps you look really awake and refreshed. I'm gonna go in with those shades that I used in my crease, and I'm just gonna do this. Sorry, I started using a brush that was not a drugstore brush. This one I believe is from Soho. This is like that line that they sell in Walgreens, or it might be their like studio whatever line, but I know it's one of those. It's just a magnetic brush, so the brush head actually comes off. It's really great for traveling. I have a few different brush heads for it, but this is the one that I'm using today. It's kind of like a flat shader. I'm just gonna go ahead and take those and bring them down underneath my eye at my lower lash line. I'm gonna go ahead and put my nose ring back in too. All right, so for the last part, I'm just gonna go in with some mascara, and this is my favorite drugstore mascara of all time. This is actually New York Color, so NYC. It is their Showtime Volumizing Mascara. This is the waterproof one. My favorite waterproof mascara, honestly, like even out of the expensive ones, like this is still my favorite. Just gonna go ahead and apply that to my lashes. Since it's the summer, I don't plan on like getting in a pool or anything today, but sometimes I just like to use this for an extra layer of protection. If my eyes water, if I get sweaty, if I'm going to like an amusement park or something and there's gonna be water, this is just a really great summer mascara. The brush on this is very basic actually, but that's why I like it. I tend to like more like classic types of mascara wands versus like the weird shaped ones or the ones with all this weird technology in them. I just like a regular mascara wand. Alright, so once you have coated your top and bottom lashes, you are ready for the final step, which is just to spritz yourself with a setting spray. Again, I like the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. Super, super cheap and actually a really great product. Sorry, that is not the last step. I always forget the last step, which is lips. So I'm gonna actually get just a little bit of Vaseline and place that on for a moisture layer. Vaseline is my favorite lip product ever. It's super cheap and easy, and it's just really moisturizing. Now I'm gonna go in with the Ulta Shiny Sheer Lip Gloss in the shade Blush. So really pretty pinky gloss. I love glosses in the summertime. I just feel like that's the time when you want a gloss. I don't know. Just makes your lips look so much more summery and everything like that. Sorry if you hear Louise in the background. She's like having a mental breakdown right now. She heard a dog outside. Alrighty. Louise. So once you got those lips nice and glossy, you are done. Alright guys, so I apologize for all the noise that there's been throughout this video. Literally Louise is barking while I'm saying that, of course. But anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I kind of like switching it up sometimes and using products that I haven't recently, or kind of realizing that I have a different routine than I thought I did, because a lot of the stuff that I use on an everyday basis is actually drugstore, and I didn't even realize it. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you did enjoy it and you liked this drugstore look, be sure to give it a thumbs up for me so I know to do more videos like this. Let me know down in the comments just kind of what drugstore products you've been loving. I, especially right now, am looking for some products that are fairly affordable and still work really well. So if you have things that I didn't mention in this video that you love from the drugstore, be sure to give me a comment down below. Also, if you look in that down bar, you can find all of my social media and follow me there. Shameless plug for following me on Instagram, because my Instagram is pretty rad. It's not really, but you can still follow me. And with that, I think this video is complete. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos. I'll be posting them once a week from now on. Thank you so, so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.